Hi everyone, I'm Desiree Warner. It is February 15th, 2019, and I'm following up with you as far as an experiment that I started 48 hours ago involving S. cerevisiae and S. epidermidis to assess the salt tolerance of these two different microbes. Firstly, there were two exercises. One in which we are assessing sodium chloride and various concentrations, a 1% concentration in a broth, a 7% concentration, and a 15% concentration in each of the S. cerevisiae and the S. epidermidis. Firstly, I'm going to go through my results, but looking at all of them, I am finding that overall the 1% had a better salt tolerance in that there's a positive test for those two microbes with the in the 1% sodium chloride broth. I would say that the 7% of each of them, the S. epidermidis and the S. cerevisiae, and the 15% had zero tolerance in that the results are both negative. I'm going to say all four results are negative, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go through each of them. For the sodium chloride, for the S. epidermidis, it is cloudy, and this is the 1% broth. For the S. epidermidis again, the sodium chloride percent, 7% concentration for the S. epidermidis, and this one, as you can see, it's clear. The S. epidermidis, 15% concentration of sodium chloride, clear. That again is a negative result. Let's work towards the S. cerevisiae now. This is my S. cerevisiae in the 1% sodium chloride broth, and this one is cloudy, which tells me we have a positive test here. With the sodium chloride, 7% for the S. cerevisiae, this is clear. This is a negative result. And the sodium chloride, last but not least, it's the 15% concentration of the sodium chloride. This one, as you can tell, it's clear and negative result. So overall, what I can tell you, as I said, I think the salt, well, not that I think, based on my results, the salt tolerance, these two different microbes worked better in a lower salt concentration because the results proved positive for the 1% in the S. cerevisiae and the 1% sodium chloride concentration in the S. epidermidis. All the other four tests were clear, which tells me, again, as I stated before, it's negative. And here we go. And with exercise 2, this part of the exercise, not only did it assess salt tolerance, but pH tolerance. I'll show you. Working with the same two microbes, being the S. epidermidis and S. cerevisiae, what I found is all let me go through the exercise. We were working with hydrochloric acid. Not sure of the concentration, but regardless, it's acidic. Because the concentration was not mentioned in it was not mentioned in the sample or the exercise. But again, regardless, whatever concentration it was acidic. We know that hydrochloric acid is acidic. And the other one would be the sodium hydroxide, which we know it's a base, alkali. So using these two microbes, we had 3 samples of one microbe, 3 samples in another microbe, and what we were to do, and what I did was I dropped 1 drop of the hydrochloric acid in the S. epidermidis 5. And as you can see, this 1 drop, 2 days later, produced a cloudy a cloudy broth. That's what I want to use. And as a control test, rather, we did not put anything in SE7 because we wanted it to be seven being a regular pH, usual neutral pH. That's the word I'm looking for, neutral. So there was no sodium chloride, or I'm sorry, hydrochloric acid or sodium hydroxide placed in the S epidermidis 7. So this was the neutral. Nonetheless, as you can see, it's cloudy. And the S epidermidis for the sodium hydroxide, this too, cloudy. So, you know, in both pH being the acidic and the alkali, they're both proven to be positive because they're both cloudy. So this tells me that S epidermidis tolerates both acidic and alkali conditions. Let's move on to the S cerevisiae. S cerevisiae, this is it, in S5 being the hydrochloric acid, and this one is cloudy, as you can see. In the neutral broth, because I did not add any hydrochloric acid or sodium hydroxide, this too is cloudy, but of course it'll grow because it's neutral, and it will grow in the neutral broth because, again, it grows in both acidic or alkali. So of course it'll grow in neutral. And last but not least, this is the S cerevisiae, 9 being the sodium hydroxide, and this too is cloudy, which tells me it's a positive. And in summary, all 6 tests testing the salt tolerance and the pH, I'll grab them all for you, proved to be cloudy, hence a positive test. Here's what we're looking at. They're all cloudy. All pH, all testing, all cloudy. And that's it. That's my findings. I'll summarize this. And thank you for watching.